Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sandbox. It's great to be here in the Sandbox speaking to all you guys. Today is day 3 in the life of David. So far, his life has been quite exhilarating, and today is no exception. So everybody get ready. Today we're learning about David and Jonathan.
Previously on Sandbox. Although David came from humble beginnings, God saw his heart and chose to make him the next king of Israel. First, God brought David into the palace to play music for the current angry king. Then, God allowed the evil Philistines to attack Israel. God had begun showing off his amazing power through David. Immediately after being granted success on the battlefield, David was taken to live in the palace. King Saul had a son about David's age named Prince Jonathan. Even though he was King Saul's son, his heart was full of trust and obedience for God, just like David's. It was for this reason they immediately became best friends. The Bible tells us Jonathan demonstrated his friendship for David by giving him his belt, his princely robe, and his sword. David's situation was getting better and better until King Saul heard a crowd of people singing, "Saul has had 1,000 victories, but David has had 10,000 victories." When King Saul heard David had more power than him, he became super jealous. You see, Saul used to love God, but he loved his power even more. It was for this reason that God had chosen to replace him with David. But King Saul began looking for a way to get rid of David. The next time David played music for Saul, he saw his opportunity. The Bible tells us Saul lifted the spear into the air above his head and tried to destroy David. But God was watching out for David. He had used Jonathan to warn and protect David from King Saul's anger. So, when the moment came, David was able to escape to safety. Outside the palace, Jonathan met David. The two of them shared a bitter goodbye. David thanked Jonathan for his friendship and his protection. Then he promised to take care of Jonathan and Jonathan's entire family, no matter what happened, for the rest of his life.
The story of David and Jonathan is kind of hard to hear. It doesn't go the direction we expect it to, or the direction we want it to go. You see, David's life had been getting better and better and better. First, he was a small shepherd boy, and then he got chosen to become the next king, and then he got to fight Goliath, and then he defeated Goliath, and then he's brought into the palace, and then he's got a best friend, the best friend's giving him all these things. And then King Saul is going crazy trying to destroy David, and his life gets bad really quick. David had to flee the temple to save his life, had to flee the palace to save his life. Man, and we know that God was watching over David, guiding him through this whole process. Does that mean that God made a mistake when something bad happened to David? No way, not at all. God was with David, God was watching over him, and this bad thing that happened was a very important part of David's story. And kids, the same is true for you even for me and for your parents and your friends and your family, everybody. Things happen in life. Good things happen and bad things happen. No matter who you are or what you have been through, both of those things are going to happen. And that doesn't mean that God has made a mistake or God has forgotten about you. God was with David through all the craziness of his life. And God is with you too. Through all of the craziness, the good things and the bad things, everything. God is with us, and God is watching over us, guiding us through our lives, taking us in the direction of becoming bigger and better and stronger and more powerful men and women of God because of the things we go through, because of the things God enables us to go through. So when difficult things come, remind yourself, man, bad things happened to David, but God was always watching him, and God was always with him. God's always watching you, and God is always with you too. So everybody, Sandbox kids, take your hands, put them together, close your eyes, open your eyes, close your eyes, open your eyes. Stop doing that. Close your eyes, and we'll pray out today's Sandbox lesson. Thank you, God, for showing us that sometimes even bad things can happen to good people. But you are always in control. You are in charge because you are large and you are powerful. Help us to always keep ourselves focused on you, no matter what happens in life. Help us to trust you, help us to obey you, and use us to do great and mighty things. And all God's Sandbox children said, Amen.